Hey, if you're going to use this HomeFlex gas line stuff, chances are you're watching this because you didn't want to read the directions, but I would suggest doing that. Um, First, I cut it to a rough length using a pipe cutter. Don't use a hacksaw or anything like that. Just be real gentle with it. Clean any burrs and stuff off, and then you got to trim that sheeting back 2 valleys on that corrugated pipe there. And then your fitting, this is just a straight fitting that'll hook to the gas line. This is kind of the order things go here. You'll take the slip part and slide it over the sheeting, your pipe, before you put that retainer clip on the first valley. You want to get it on that first one there, and then use some channel locks or pliers or a wrench to snug it up around there. Just take your time. You don't want to kill this thing and smash it, so just take your time, get it on there real snug. You should be able to move it, but it shouldn't move super easy. So make sure you get that on there tight. Like I said, just take your time. Be nice to this thing, and it'll work the first time. So after you do that, this is kind of how it goes together. That fitting there goes on the gas supply end part. That fitting has a little fiber gasket already attached to it. Just make sure that's there. That's going to cinch up against that. And then make sure you put your sealant pipe dope on your threaded part there. Just make sure it's for gas. But you do not need it on these other threads, those threads there. You don't need any kind of sealant. That thing just smashes against there. So down in the basement, I just got this just kind of snugged on here. Make sure your pipes, your flex line's straight. Don't come out of that thing into immediate bend. You're just asking for a leak. Nice slow arc in these flex lines is best. I'm not going too far, maybe 2 feet at the most. And I stubbed the other end up so I can mark it, so I can cut it. This is the termination behind the stove. You need a couple inches to make the connection. So this thing's roughly 2 inches tall, so I'm just going to kind of mark it here. And then I'll go downstairs, take it apart, pull it out and cut it, and then stick it back in and hook it up that way. So after I cut it, I got this piece on here with my dope, and then got this piece threaded on there and got everything tightened down. Like I said, just try to keep this pipe straight, close to that fitting there. You don't want to put a lot of stress right there. So I got this thing all cranked down and ready to go. So upstairs, I trimmed the pipe and the sheeting. I got my little foot thing on there first before you put that retainer nut on. And then just, the same thing as the other one. Just make sure you got the burrs knocked off and all that stuff before you hook this up. A couple of wrenches and cinch that up. And then before I fastened it down, I put the shutoff valve on there. So I made sure it wasn't going to hit the wall and it was oriented the right way before I screwed it down to the floor. So there you go. It's not that hard. Just take your time. And then after you get the gas back on, check all your fittings with some soapy solution and make sure you're good to go, and hope that helps.